Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I begin this video, I give all praises, all glory, all honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Kodash, giving double honors unto the elders and apostles of greatness, soon from the apostle to Hakam all the way down. And shalom to the 144,000 chosen men, and shalom to the elect men, women, and children. Be surely showing grace in these times. I come here to come out with the last video in this 7-part series that we have been doing. This video I will title Yahawashi Is The Lamb. What does that mean? The book of John, chapter 1, verse 29. The next day John seeth Yahawashi coming unto him, and saith, Behold, the Lamb of Yahweh, which taketh away the sins of the world. Jumping on to verse 36. And looking upon Yahawashi as he walked, he said, Behold the Lamb of power. What that mean? This goes back to the law, because what we know Yahawashi would fulfill the law. Yahawashi represented the Lamb, because what? The children of Israel was going off. The children of Israel was going off for many, many centuries. And we had to fix it. So like the Lord had to fix that. Doing the whole, let me get a sin offering. Now Leviticus 4:32. And if he bring in lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish, and shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they killed the burnt offering. The priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horn of the altar of burning offering, and shall pour out all blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. But what? That to be what? A lamb without blemish. This is why Yahawashi came in this carnation here, and he did not sin, because when he had to die, he had to be what? Without blame. I'm going to that word blemish. Okay, I'm going to that word blemish. That's 4:32. Read in easy English too. If a person wants to give a young sheep to the Lord, it must be a female. It must be perfect. We went to that word blemish. It said what? Tama. What's that like? Yeah, tamam, or tam, tamam. Complete, whole, entire, sound. Let's see where else it's in here. Yeah, 1D, sound, wholesome, unimpaired, innocent, having integrity. So what? Anytime you have to put a lamb up to the slaughter, it had to be whole, it had to have integrity, it had to have no fault. And that's why Yahawashi came in that lifetime and had no fault. And the reason he used Yahawashi, because this was prophesied of him in the book of Isaiah, chapter 53. Because he had to do this. Why? Because he had to right the wrongs that he did. The scripture says the priest had to make atonement for himself first, and then the people. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 7, and verse 27. Who needed Salak? Verse 26. For such an high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens, who needed not daily as those high priests to offer up sacrifice, first for his own sins, and then for the people's. For this he did once, when he offered up himself. I'm getting an EMP. This is Hebrews 7:27 EMP. And from 26, it was fitting for us to have such an high priest, perfectly adapted to our needs, holy, blameless, separated from sinners, exalted higher than the heavens, who has no day by day need like these high priests to offer up sacrifices for all, first of all for his own personal sins, and then those of the people, because he had all the requirements and did this once for all when he offered up himself as what? A willing sacrifice. So what? Yahawashi sacrificed himself to pay for his sins and for the sins of the people. What? The duty of a lamb. And then the people, nation of Israel had sinned. What? They had to get a lamb, kill the lamb, do whatever they had to do with the lamb, do the proper ritual with the lamb, and then what? Their sins would have been purged. And that is what Yahawashi do. He purged the whole nation of Israel's sins when he offered up himself. Book, let's see. I'm trying to remember. Partition. Middle wall. Yeah. Ephesians 2. Ephesians 2 and verse 13. But now when a Mashiach Yahawashi, he who sometimes was far off and made nigh by the blood of a Mashiach, for he is our peace, who had made both one and broken down the middle wall of partition between us, having abolished in his flesh the enmity, even the law of commandments contained in ordinances, for to make himself of twain one new man, so making peace, so that he might reconcile both unto Yahweh in one body by the cross, having slain the enmity thereby, and came and preached peace to you which were far off, and to them that were nigh. And we know this was referring to the Israelite foreigners, the ones that believed them was Greeks, and the ones who knew they were Israelites. But a twofold, this could also be used for the southern and northern kingdom when the Lord would bring both of them together. He himself tell them that in the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 15. Verse 14, I am the good shepherd, I know my sheep, and I'm known of mine. And we know that sheep is referring to what the whole house of Israel, because they call the whole house of Israel the sheep of his, let me get that. Israel, sheep. Jeremiah 15 and 17 here. Israel is a scattered sheep. So we know the sheep you're referring to is the whole house of Israel. And we know it cannot be only the southern kingdom referring to here, because what? The whole house of Israel is the sheep. Verse 15, as the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father. I laid on my life for the sheep, he laid on life for what? The whole house of Israel. And other sheep I have, there we know talking about the whole of Israel, being what? The northern kingdom and the Israelite foreigners, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. The book of Isaiah chapter 53. I read from let's see. Verse 4. Surely had he borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of power, and afflicted when he was crucified. But he was wounded for our transgression, because I the whole point of the Lamb to take away the sins of Israel. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord Yahweh had laid on him and the Lord Yahweh had laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of living for the transgression of my people he was stricken. He has made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his debt, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. It pleased the Lord Yahweh to bruise him. He had put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days. The pleasure of the Lord Yahweh shall prosper in his hand. He shall see of the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall what? Bear their iniquities. So what we know, Yahawashi is the Lamb, and he is the one who but ultimately bear the whole sin of Israel. How come we know? Ultimately through the elect. Him through the elect, the whole of Israel saved. Ultimately, he just saving his elect. As he said that he died not for the world, but he died for what they that are his. Through saving them, the whole of Israel will be saved. So we know ultimately what? Yahawashi died for the elect, yes, but what? Through dying for the elect, he died for what? The whole of Israel, the duty of the Lamb. Closing, I to give all praise, all glory, all honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash, giving double honors unto the elders and apostles of great milestone, from the apostle to Hakam all the way down. And shalom to the 144,000 chosen men, and shalom to the elect men, women, and children who will surely show grace in these times. So, brother Hanana, signing out, saying shalom.